Good afternoon. I want to thank all of you for this opportunity to join you today to talk about our amazing city. A lot has happened since I spoke to you last September. So far, 2020 has been quite an eventful year for Jacksonville, the nation, and the world as we all face the continuing threat of COVID-19. This invisible virus has disrupted lives, businesses, and so much more. This time last year, every projection indicated that Jacksonville would continue to experience record levels of economic growth. But COVID-19 has since brought forward a different set of challenges and possibilities. As with every challenge, though, what always shines through is that Jacksonville is a strong city with people who can rise and overcome adversity. After weeks of monitoring the progress of the virus in other parts of the world, I declared a state of emergency for Duval County on March 13th after our first positive case of COVID-19 was diagnosed. With that declaration, we took immediate action to suspend public gatherings in city facilities, close the libraries, zoo, and public parks, all to ensure that our local healthcare system was not overwhelmed and the fewest number of people in Duval County were placed at risk. Under the advice of medical professionals, on March 15th, we put in place capacity restrictions for public places and limited the sale of alcohol. With additional executive orders, we closed area beaches on March 20th, instituted a work-from-home order on March 23rd, and implemented hotel and lodging restrictions on March 30th. The order to close all non-essential businesses took effect on April 3rd. These decisions were not easy ones. We knew that many in our community would suffer economically and otherwise from the closures and restrictions. But we also knew that this was a critical moment, a generational moment, and that we would be judged by future generations based on how we responded to this crisis. These actions, though painful and difficult, were advised by medical professionals to be critical to save lives, flatten the curve, and reduce the impact of the virus on our local healthcare system, to prevent the devastation we saw in other countries, such as Italy, earlier in the year. But as a small business owner, I was fully aware of the negative impact the shutdown would have on countless families in Jacksonville. And I took steps to minimize that impact and assist those in need. Our team heavily lobbied for federal funding, and support was awarded nearly $25 million in CARES Act dollars to support small businesses. In a unique partnership with ViStar Credit Union, we set up a small business program to help local companies in business and citizens on payroll. ViStar provided $40 million in approved credit lines to small businesses, with the city granting interest and principal amounts if the business hits certain employee retention targets. We enacted this program in April, much sooner than other programs in Florida. This was immediately impactful to Jacksonville businesses and the local economy. $20 million in CARES Act funds were provided in grants to 183 businesses and nonprofits such as the Zoo, Symphony, and more. This has now been expanded to $24 million. An additional $20 million provided relief to businesses and entities who rent space from the city or who pay fees to the city for certain services to allow them to get back on their feet and help spur economic development. That includes fire inspection fees, various permits, and mobility fees. To help the city recuperate unexpected costs from the virus response and protect Jacksonville taxpayer resources, we are seeking $7 to $80 million in financial damage to FEMA for reimbursement. Comprised of public safety and other essential employee personnel costs and several $million in personal protective equipment, PPE purchases, to keep employees and the public safe when transacting with the government. These costs are FEMA reimbursable, and we've allocated CARES Act funds to the non-reimbursable elements of those costs. COVID-19 has left an indelible mark on our city, state, and nation, and it may take months or years for many to recover. But at the city, we're doing what we can to ensure that we get our economy up and running as quickly and safely as possible. The sooner we get people back to work, the sooner we'll recover from this virus. Since March, the city has approved 7 economic development projects. Project Graph, an IT company, is planning to add 115 new jobs and invest $2.1 million in private capital. Cantor Fitzgerald Project Kodiak, an international financial services company, is creating 80 new jobs and spending $1.2 million in capital investment. Project Academy, a manufacturing company, is bringing 300 new jobs and $40 million in capital. Synergy Technologies, Project Skateboard, a company that designs software for healthcare, transportation, and financial institutions, is creating 300 new jobs for our community and spending $1.4 million in capital improvement. Project Cyclone, an international transportation and logistics company, is creating 475 new jobs and investing $10.1 million in capital. Flying W Plastics, a manufacturer of plastic piping products, is creating 28 new jobs and investing $8 million in private capital. And UPS is expanding their location to create 240 new jobs and spend $334 million in capital investment. Even amidst these harrowing times, the important day-to-day work of local government must continue. Last month, my sixth budget as mayor went into effect. Each budget has been a clear demonstration of my commitment to the people of Jacksonville and the key priorities of my administration and our continued promise to be a responsible steward of taxpayer dollars by reducing debt, maintaining strong reserves and contingencies to prepare for unforeseen challenges. This year's general fund budget is valued at $1.34 billion and maintains public safety as a top spending priority. It includes funding to support the men and women who wear the uniforms and risk it all to protect us, including dollars for new fire stations and renovated facilities, vehicles, and equipment. We owe it to the men and women of Jacksonville Fire and Rescue and the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office to give them the tools they need and the equipment they need to do their job safely. Just last week, a few of our firefighters were injured while responding to a house fire on Acorn Street. Because of the investments in safety gear and equipment we've made in recent years, we were able to prevent more severe injuries from occurring. On the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office front, while we have invested in new crime-fighting tools and technologies, we also focus on important prevention and intervention programs like Cure Violence and youth programs at the Kids Hope Alliance. It is also cognizant of the righteous demands from our community to address social justice and economic disparities in our city. I have consistently stated throughout my term in office that one of the most effective ways government can create positive change is to invest in our neighborhoods. That includes infrastructure promises made long ago when our city was consolidated that have yet to be fully realized. That's why we're investing a total multi-year CIP of 270 projects around our city, estimated at $1.66 billion. In the year ahead, we have 121 projects at a total of nearly $240 million. Almost $100 million of that will be directed to Northwest Jacksonville, specifically Council Districts 7, 8, 9, and 10, where some of the largest unmet needs still exist. While this is a strong commitment to those neighborhoods, the budget still makes substantial investments in all areas of our city. Another key area of focus is downtown Jacksonville. By now, you've heard me say time and time again, you can't be a suburb of nowhere. Great cities have great downtowns, and Jacksonville deserves a beautiful and vibrant urban core that complements our unique and amazing community. Nearly 2 years ago, I committed to the people of this city that in just a few years, you wouldn't recognize our downtown. My team and I are focused on that goal, and we're working together with business and community partners to make that vision a reality. We've seen great momentum in recent years. Cranes are in the sky, and many wonderful projects are in the works. One of those projects has received a lot of attention recently, and that's Lot J. Despite the criticism, I'm confident it will be an exciting and catalytic development for our downtown. For years and years, administration after administration has talked about making downtown a priority. Over those same years, we've heard numerous platitudes from city leaders about Jacksonville's enormous potential. And don't get me wrong, I agree that this is an amazing city with tremendous potential, but it's time to stop talking about it and start doing something about it. It's time to turn that potential into reality. The Lot J project will be a 50-50 development between the Jaguars and the Cordish Companies, an award-winning national developer with a track record of successful similar developments in Baltimore, Philadelphia, Kansas City, and St. Louis. This will be a catalytic project that will ignite even more investment and opportunities for downtown Jacksonville. The plans include 2 residential buildings with 404 rent residences, 150 to 200 room hotel, 75,000 square feet of street-level retail, 40,000 square feet of Class A office space, a 750-space surface parking lot, 2 350-space parking garages, and a 100,000 square foot entertainment center with multiple bars and restaurants and indoor and outdoor facilities. This project will provide an immediate boost to our economy with the creation of 2,300 construction jobs. After that, there will be over 1,000 permanent jobs with an estimated annual economic output of $100 million per year. As part of this agreement, the total direct public investment is $152.7 million, which includes no more than $50 million for the city-owned Live District, a $12.5 million over 20 years in a REV grant to support the residential developments, and $12.5 million over 20 years to support the hotel, and $77.7 million in city-owned infrastructure. In addition, the city will be providing a $65.5 million loan to the developer, secured by a $13.1 million deposit in a city-owned trust account. And as part of this agreement, the city will own the Live District and infrastructure and all the parking within the project. The city's investments during construction will be financed via revenue bond. Residential and hotel investments will be paid over the 20-year period from taxes generated through those properties. The partnership will be responsible for cost overruns. The city and taxpayer are completely protected. Throughout this negotiation, the Jaguars and Iguana Investments have been amazing partners. Shad Khan, Mark Lamping, and the entire team are committed to Jacksonville and downtown, their home for 26 seasons, and this deal demonstrates that. But it's important to note that Lot J is not the only thing happening downtown. There are many exciting things happening. Businesses are relocating downtown or building new headquarters, such as ViStar and FIS. New residential units are bringing more people to live in our urban core. New hotels are in the works, benefiting our tourism and hospitality economy with projects like a new Marriott Residence Inn and the renovation of the historic Ambassador Hotel. And we're investing in key downtown infrastructure to improve the quality of life in our urban core, including projects like the Emerald Trail, redesigns of the former landing site and Friendship Fountain, enhancements to the waterfront at the Times Union Center, and the new vibrant lighting on the Acosta Bridge. We're also changing how we move downtown, such as Jacksonville Transportation's beautiful new regional transportation center in La Villa, and more pedestrian and bicycle safety road designs like the completed new roadway features on River Place Boulevard and the planned improvements for Park Street. It also includes the removal of the Hart Bridge ramps and the on-ramp at the Main Street Bridge and the planned conversion to two-way streets. To put it simply, a lot has happened, a lot is happening, and a lot will happen in downtown Jacksonville. When I said you won't recognize the urban core years down the road, I meant it. It will be the vibrant and bustling heart of our community. Great cities deserve great downtowns, so let's work together to keep our momentum going and create the vibrant and amazing center of our community that the people of Jacksonville have earned.